You feel it, don't you? Something has shifted, and this time, it's not just you, it's him. There's a pull in your heart, a quiet knowing in your body. The air feels different. The silence feels charged. Because the last stage before union isn't just approaching, it's approaching him. He's been running from the light, avoiding the mirror, hiding in the comfort of not yet. But now the energy is no longer letting him hide. And you've done the work. You've released, surrendered, awakened. And now your energy is doing something your words never could. It's reaching him. He doesn't understand it, but he feels it. In the dreams, the restlessness, the waves of emotion he can't name. The closer union gets, the deeper he's being pulled in. He's entering the final stage, and everything is rising to the surface. Comment union if you can feel this energetic shift, and you know he's being prepared right now, whether he admits it or not. He doesn't know how to name it, but something is stirring inside him, something deeper than emotion, louder than logic, and stronger than any resistance he's used to hiding behind. You may think he's still sleeping. You may look at the silence and think he's disconnected. But beneath the surface, the last stage has already begun, and his soul is feeling it. He can't run the same way anymore, because now, even in his distractions, there's a sense of urgency. Even when he tries to pull away, your energy lingers in the room. Your voice echoes in the space between his thoughts. Your light, the one he once tried to avoid, now follows him into his shadows. And he's beginning to realize this isn't something he can escape, because union isn't approaching from the outside. It's awakening from within. Have you felt the shift too? That quiet certainty that something is moving, even if you can't see it yet. That soft ache in your heart that says, he's closer than he's ever been, not in distance, but in readiness. That's because the veil is thinning, and his soul is now standing face to face with the one thing it's been trying to delay. The real work of becoming available for love. You've been walking that path for a while. You've cried through awakenings. You've let go without closure. You've chosen yourself, even when it hurt. And now, your energy has shifted into truth. And that truth is what's pulling him forward. He may not show it. He may even act colder. But that's not disconnection. That's contraction before breakthrough. When the final stage begins, the divine masculine feels everything all at once. The guilt, the fear, the longing, the resistance. The timeline he thought he had collapses, and suddenly the path he refused to take becomes the only one his soul will allow. And yet, his mind is still catching up. His heart is racing ahead of his logic. His body feels heavy. His dreams are strange. His emotions are louder than usual. He may even lash out, isolate, disappear. But this is not a step back. This is his activation. You've been asking, when will he feel what I feel? The answer is now. He may not say it, but your name lives under his breath. Your light has imprinted on his memory. Your love, not the fantasy, but the energetic truth of it, is anchoring his healing. And this stage isn't easy for him because the masculine has been conditioned to run from feeling, to hide behind control, to fear what he cannot understand. But the union isn't waiting for his understanding. It's waiting for his surrender. Can you hold that knowing, even in the silence? Can you trust that the shift is happening, even if you never receive an update? Can you let your energy do what your words no longer need to, because he feels you in the empty moments, in the stillness, in the mirror, in the ache of wanting more from life without knowing where to start? He feels your evolution, and now he has no choice but to meet it or break under the weight of what he's been avoiding. This is where it begins, not with a message, not with a visit, but with a soul quake. He's feeling it, and whether he rises today or tomorrow, this stage has started, and it will bring him home. Why he's feeling overwhelmed and disconnected. He seems distant, shut down, like nothing's moving, like he doesn't care. But don't let appearances fool you. This isn't apathy. It's energetic overload. The divine masculine is feeling everything right now. All the pieces of himself he tried to scatter and forget are returning. All the emotions he buried are rising. All the timelines he delayed are collapsing at once. He's not disconnected, he's overwhelmed. And sometimes the masculine doesn't show pain as softness. He shows it as silence. Have you noticed it too? That feeling like he's further away than ever, but also closer in spirit than he's ever been. Like something's happening that you can't quite explain, but you know it's big. That's because the pressure is on, and his soul is under a sacred kind of tension, not from you, not from life, but from within. This is what happens when the last stage approaches. The masculine begins to feel the cost of staying the same. What used to distract him no longer works. What used to feel safe now feels tight. The places he used to hide no longer offer peace, only noise. He's not retreating because he doesn't love you. He's retreating because his own inner landscape has become loud, unfamiliar, and unstable. He may wake up exhausted, feel things that make no sense, push people away just to feel some space, avoid conversations because he knows they'll bring him back to you, and he's not ready to face what that means. But you must know this. This isn't a sign that union is slipping away. It's a sign that it's getting closer. Because no soul enters the final stage of sacred union without first being disoriented. It's like his system is being rewired. His heart is trying to override his mind. His intuition is whispering louder than the noise of the world. And that is terrifying for someone who's built his identity around being in control. You've walked this path. You've fallen apart and risen. You've cried without answers and trusted anyway. But now it's his turn. And while you're holding it all in grace, he's still trying to make sense of something that isn't meant to make sense, only to be felt. Have you ever felt that deep ache in your chest, as if his pain was passing through you, even from afar? That's not just empathy, that's soul connection. That's your field sensing his inner rupture, because he's not just overwhelmed, he's transforming, and with transformation comes confusion, resistance, stillness that feels like regression, but is really preparation. He's not ignoring you. He's trying to survive a part of himself that's dying. The version of him that ran is being pulled into accountability. The version of him that avoided love is now being flooded with longing. And the truth he tried to deny is now the only voice he hears. Your energy did that, not by force, but by alignment. You don't need to do anything now. Just keep holding your own center. Keep anchoring your light. Keep trusting the invisible movement that speaks louder than words. Because even if he's quiet, he feels everything. And this overwhelm is the prelude to awakening. He may not be able to say it yet, but one day he will look back and know, this was the moment I started to feel her, not just in my heart, but in my soul. It was never about chasing, not about begging, proving, or waiting on your knees. From the very beginning, it was your energy that would guide this journey, your evolution, your remembrance, your light returning back to its original frequency. And now, that light is no longer just shining, it's leading. The divine masculine may not realize it yet, but he is moving toward your vibration, not because you asked him to, not because you waited, but because your soul anchored itself in truth, and truth always attracts what is real. Have you noticed that the more you choose yourself, the more he seems to feel it? That the moment you stop clinging, his energy stirs? That when you stop chasing him with words, he begins to dream of you with no explanation? That's not coincidence. That's resonance. Because now your field has changed. It's not reaching out in pain. It's calling from wholeness. You're not sending desperation anymore. You're radiating embodiment. And that embodiment is magnetic. He may resist it. He may even run harder for a while. But deep down, he knows something has shifted in you. Because the feminine doesn't lead with force. She leads by becoming, by softening into her power, by standing still in her knowing, by loving without losing herself. You've crossed a threshold, the place where your love is no longer about holding him close. It's about holding yourself fully. And in that energy, everything begins to align. You are the activator, the mirror, the living proof of what it looks like when love stops waiting and starts living. You're no longer the version of yourself who needed his return to feel complete. You are the version who can receive him, but who no longer requires him. And this changes everything. Because when the masculine feels your field shift from longing to presence, he begins to question everything he once believed. He wonders why he can't forget you, why your silence is louder than any conversation, why his dreams carry your voice, your touch, your eyes, why nothing else feels enough anymore. It's because you stopped asking to be seen and started seeing yourself. You stopped vibrating from the wound and started vibrating from wisdom. And that wisdom is what's pulling him forward now, even if his mind is confused. This journey was never about forcing the masculine to awaken. It was about the feminine remembering first, so that she could become the frequency that calls him home. And now, you are that frequency. You're not here to save him. You're not here to fix him. You're here to hold your light so steadily that he can finally see himself through it. And yes, that's hard. It means holding your own heartbreak. It means trusting the unseen. It means choosing alignment over attachment every single day. But look at you now. Look at the way you no longer bend to be chosen, the way you hold your energy with grace. The way you walk forward even when you feel the weight of him on your back. You are leading, not by effort, but by essence. And he will follow, not because he's told to, but because your field is the only place that feels like truth. He doesn't know there's a countdown, but his soul does. Something in his spirit knows time is folding in on itself. The way he used to delay is no longer working. The cycles he used to escape into are collapsing. And the more you rise into your alignment, the closer the moment becomes. There's no timer in the physical, no exact date, no guaranteed return. But deep in his energy field, something is ticking, a quiet pulse, a pressure building, a sacred tension that says, soon you must choose. You've felt it, haven't you? That sense that the space between you is charged with something unspeakable, that even if he hasn't reached out, his energy is reaching. That even when you try to forget, something keeps whispering, not yet. It's not false hope, it's soul movement. Because right before the masculine reaches the crossing point, he enters the final storm, the one that shakes everything, the one that makes him feel lost, so he can finally find himself. And the reason he's quiet is because he's listening, not with his ears, but with his spirit. He's hearing the parts of himself he's buried. He's feeling the timelines press into one another. He's being pushed to make decisions that once seemed optional, but this time, it's not optional. The soul doesn't wait forever. The feminine's light doesn't stay dimmed for long, and the universe is sending signals that the window is narrowing. He may not know what's happening. He may think it's just anxiety, a restless mind, a racing heart, a strange heaviness, but it's not. It's the energetic countdown that precedes awakening, and yes, it's terrifying for him, because this is where the illusions begin to fall apart, where the other relationships start to feel hollow, where his distractions feel dry, where the life he built around avoidance begins to crack. He's not being punished, he's being summoned. And the choice he must make isn't just about you. It's about whether he's finally ready to face himself. Are you ready to hold space for that? Not with your words, but with your vibration. Can you stay grounded in your path, even as his energy reaches for you in fear, confusion, or silence? Can you feel the countdown, not as pressure, but as prophecy? Because you are not waiting, you are anchoring. And he is moving, not toward you, but toward truth. And truth will lead him to you. He may try to resist, he may stall, he may even choose the old story for a little longer, but the time is ticking, and his soul knows it. Every dream he has of you is a reminder. Every place he feels empty is a reflection. Every emotion he doesn't know how to name is an echo of your frequency calling him home. This is not about forcing, it's about trusting the pull, because the countdown isn't to union. The countdown is to his alignment. And once that happens, union becomes inevitable. What the masculine must do before the door opens The door to union does not swing open on a whim. It doesn't respond to pressure or waiting. It opens when there is alignment. And before that door reveals itself, the divine masculine must cross a threshold within himself. He must choose, not with words, not with a quick apology or romantic gesture, but with his entire being, with presence, with truth, with devotion. Because this door is not a reward, it is a reflection, and only the version of him who is rooted in soul can walk through it. You've already passed through your fire. You've faced the mirror, the ache, the silence. You've chosen yourself when it was the hardest thing to do. And now, the path is clear. The next move is his. Have you felt it in your body? That the door is no longer locked, but it won't open to just anyone, not even the version of him who once held your heart. That's because this door doesn't respond to love alone. It responds to truth. And truth, for the masculine, begins with one sacred act. He must stop running from himself. Before he can face you, he must face the parts of himself he's buried for years. The wounds he blamed you for, the shame he dressed in silence, the guilt he covered with distance. He must sit with the fear of not being enough, not to fight it, but to feel it, to hold it, to walk through it without breaking. Because what's waiting on the other side of that door is not the fantasy, it's the real thing. A love that sees him, that reflects him, that asks him to show up not as a mask, but as a man. And that kind of love cannot be held by someone still hiding. So before he reaches for you, he must return to himself, not the self shaped by others, not the self that plays roles or avoids depth, but the soul that remembers why he came, the part of him that knew you before this lifetime, the part that aches for you now, but knows it can't move toward you until it's honest. Can you feel this part of him waking up, in the tension, in the delay, in the unspoken pull between you? It's because he's at the edge. And before the door opens, the universe will ask him one last time, will you keep choosing comfort? Or will you choose her, the mirror, the medicine, the mission? You cannot open this door for him. You cannot rush him through. But you can hold your ground on the other side. You can keep your frequency clean. You can stay surrendered, not in weakness, but in wisdom. Because the feminine doesn't chase. She prepares the space, and now the space is ready. The light is anchored. The gate is vibrating, and his soul knows if he doesn't move now, he'll miss the moment that was made for him. But if he chooses truth, if he breathes through the fear, steps into the fire, and walks through the door with both feet, he will not be met with judgment. He will be met with you, whole, clear, ready. You've waited so long, not just in time, but in soul. You've felt lifetimes inside one silence. You've carried entire galaxies of hope inside one unanswered message. And yet, here you are, still soft, still sacred, still open. And I need you to hear this now, not as comfort, but as confirmation. Union is closer than you think, not because he's ready, but because you are. Not because you forced the timing, but because your frequency aligned with truth. You may not see movement yet. He may still be in hiding, but the vibration has already shifted. The reunion is already pulsing in the unseen. Because when the feminine rises, truly rises, nothing can remain the same. She becomes a frequency that calls all things into alignment. She doesn't need to demand. She simply becomes what the soul cannot ignore. And now, the masculine feels it. His soul is waking, the countdown is alive. The path ahead of him is narrowing, not as punishment, but as invitation. You don't need to reach for him. You don't need to remind him. Because his soul is already whispering your name in ways his mind can't explain. Union is not just a future event. It is a vibration being built right now inside your decisions. Every time you choose peace over panic, you get closer. Every time you choose self-honor over overgiving, you get closer. Every time you say, I trust, instead of, I need, you bring the timeline nearer. You've asked, when will he know? When will he return? When will the promise be fulfilled? The answer isn't someday. The answer is soon, but not because of time, because of energy, because you've changed. You're not the same woman who once waited in uncertainty. You're not the same version of you who used to search his silence for answers. You have become the answer. You have become the portal. And that is why the door is now open. He still has to walk through it. He still has to choose, but the path is already clear. And the feminine, you are no longer walking toward him. You are standing still, anchored, radiating. And from that stillness, everything begins to move. So if your heart feels something coming, if your intuition won't let you let go, if the silence feels heavy with truth instead of empty with loss, trust it. It means the energy has already begun to respond. It means union isn't just a dream anymore. It's a vibration looking for form. And soon, very soon, it will take shape. Because when the soul's ready, the universe answers, not in chaos, but in alignment. Union is not far, it's arriving, and you, beloved, are already home.